Alright, welcome back, ladies and worms. A little loud in here because the fan's running. We got a 2001 F-150 4.6 Cayman. Basically, it's kind of odd where it's not wanting to move under its own power. It was driving, customer stated, and it came to a stop. It kind of lost all of its forward gears, reverse. Seems very sluggish trying to engage. See what else they said. I have a couple notes here. Let's see. Some note of a noise, they said, an intermittent noise. They weren't really sure where it was coming from. But make sure we're set up here. All right. Excuse me. All right, so let's get into it and see. Let's get the tail housing off here. There's one bolt on it. The camera just moved. Looked like it did. Got it on this really janky clamp here. Nothing too crazy there, at least that I can tell. Let's see. Yeah, fluid. Pretty dark. Not black yet. It's kind of like a real dark honey brown. I mean, it's pretty dark. I don't know how well the video pick it up, but it's not black by any means. Just nab the pan off here. My other 10 mil, the chrome one is too tight. I did tell them to drop the pan, but not to wipe it out. So I could see, you know, what's going on. Not that it matters, I mean, too much because I'm pulling it all the way apart. Well, it's never had a pan drop service. It still has the plug in it from the factory. There is some metal. The magnet's pretty fuzzy. There's a piece of metal I pulled off of the magnet. I can't tell if it's a piece of a Torrington bearing or part of a snap ring. It looks like it's part of a Torrington bearing, which I hope it's not, because if it is, then it's going to be really hurt. Filter's still flowing. There's my it got kind of crunchy, kind of hot. I can feel it. Let's get our harness off here and be careful not to break it. I mean, it's getting a new one, but I try not to break them. You just got to get all the 9s out of here, or the 8s, I'm sorry. Oh, missing 2. Yeah, I don't like seeing that Torrington, but it's kind of common for these to blow one of those Torrington bearings up. When it does, it's usually not long after that the planetary gear and the sun shell, or the sun gear and all that stuff kind of goes along for the ride, and it becomes a very expensive repair. Make sure I'm not missing it. I don't want to. There we go. Take a peek here at the accumulator wear on the plate. Doesn't look too bad. A lot of times you'll see them crack a X in there, but the valve body's got to be vacuum tested, so it has to be cleaned first before I can really determine anything good or bad with the valve body. The snap ring's intact for overdrive, so that's good. Get your case plug out of there. Get your accumulator out of the way. Well, that would be why he's having a real slip in reverse. That servo is hard as a rock. It's not soft at all on the molded piston. That would definitely attribute to pressure loss for reverse. Just getting the park rod and park pull out of there. And sometimes you can get lucky getting it out of there without, but a lot of times I know I won't be able to get it back in. You can, but it's a real pain in the butt. See if we can get it without my tool. I might get lucky, but usually not. It's started at least. There we go. I just don't like forcing it out like that. I like using a little tool I made, but can't find it. So the snap ring's not broke. A lot of times this will break, but it's not. This molded piston, the overdrive, is also very hard. And he gets all new molded pistons, but it definitely lead to a pressure loss problem. Of course, they were having a slip going into forward and reverse. Other accumulator out of here. This has a molded cover. The cover's soft. Usually it's a double spring on the top and a single on the bottom. There's a color chart you can look up for these, but you can tell it's never been apart. That servo is also very hard so far. So I mean, you know, lack of probably fluid changes and filter changes, and then hot fluid leading to deteriorating of the rubber. It's probably going to be the reasons. We'll probably see burnt forwards, maybe the snap ring off of the intermediate sprag. Where's my squeegee? Try to clean some of this off. Some of the fluid out of here. I'm gonna stand it up. Usually these fall apart. These are very simple to get apart for the most cases, really. Usually you just get that pump out, and there you go, just tip it like that. And I mean, if you don't know where everything goes, you don't want to do that, but I do, because a lot of stuff will fall out of place. And if you don't know where it goes, then that's a problem, but so you can get the whole assembly out all in one go like that. So then I'll just kind of go through the sections like this. Like we're going to check the pump first. Let's put your little retainer spring off of here. Get your piston out of there. See, they have it right. Yeah, so the little orifice always goes at the 12 o'clock. You're gonna need some brake clean for this to, well, it definitely had an end play issue. You can see on the washer, something came out of whack, and it probably was a Torrington bearing. This thrust washer is totally mushroomed out right here. It's not supposed to have that giant lip on it, so everything was kind of really pushing on this. I'm not sure from where. I mean, it could even be like drive shaft could be pushing everything in. And there's a lot of things, but we should find something else that's wrong with it. But it definitely had an end play issue, just from looking at that. Gotta grab some brake clean so I can clean it so I can check for scoring. Pump gear looks good. The pump body looks good. Check the stator side. The stator surface looks nice. Rear stator looks good. That looks fine. Splines look good. Just need some new bushings. I mean, nothing crazy there. So that's good. Well, there's part of our problem. You can see it right here, where it pushed through and popped the shell, so it's getting force on the back side. I'll show you here in a second where that goes against. Get this out of the way. That would have definitely been the noise. Could have contributed to the noise he was hearing, but let's just go down through the unit as I normally would. Let's get this out of the way here. This is intermediate. Second gear, doesn't look bad. The steel, I mean, it's a little overheated and old. They don't look terrible. Just slight discoloration. No hot spotting on the steels, which is good. Tells me it's not slipping. At least for second. Let's go to the reverse input drum. It is a mechanical diode. Drum surface, check your overdrive band. Overdrive band looks decent. I can still read the print on it from Ford. So the band's good. Well, I mean, it gets reused, or not reused, it gets replaced, I should say. But the band looks really good. Stuck on the pressure plate, just like they did. So your reverse inputs look decent. The drum itself, usually this is that snap ring that comes off. I'll put a spiral lock on it regardless. The drum looks decent. I don't see anything wrong with it. Let's see if we can get into here to get our bevel plate out of here. Sometimes it cooperates, sometimes it don't. It's turned in such a way that it's just barely out of the space I can get my driver in here. Yeah, they didn't leave a little edge for me to get. Oh, come on, almost got it. There we go. Yeah, just a little edge usually exposed, but there wasn't. Oh, gloves pointless. Just tears. Bevel spring looks good. I always put a new one of these in because it's a high failure rate. It's very common to see this bevel plate break. Little balls free. That's good. Cleaned up. Move some of this around. Got your Torrington bearing. Rides between the two drums. Your hub. Your forward. That forward doesn't look. Well, the gap, yeah, it's a little excessive. I've seen way worse, but it's a little excessive. So forward's starting to get hot. We're slipping pretty good. Not totally gone yet, but I mean, quickly on its way out. And you see the bluing in it. So it's definitely slipping real bad. That's your forward gear. Closer look at the drum. You gotta watch the journals, and the drum likes to split here. I think it's just getting on my last nerve. Yeah, the drum love to crack around this snap ring. Drum looks fine. Forward hub, just dirty. Let's move some of this. See, so something definitely pushed, and that is part of the metal I found. It's not off the Torrington bearing here or down below. It's a piece of the shell itself. It actually started to crack it all the way apart. The sprag locked on. You can see some of it. It's just stuck in there. Oh, there it went. Ooh. It got me. Yeah, a lot of little metal fines on that thing. So it definitely needs that. That's junk. You gotta be careful when you have that metal like that in these units, because it can wipe a lot of stuff out, especially if you're not really looking real close at it. The gear looks good. I don't see anything down in the grooving. I don't see any cut edges, any pitting to it at all. The journal looks nice still too. The splines look good there. Because they didn't drive it. When they had this problem, they stopped driving it immediately, which most people don't do that. They'll keep driving them. It just makes it so much worse. So, yeah, it does look like the planet is bad. It's like everything's shifted forward. I can see where the planet is all ground out in here. Get the clunk spring out of here. Get this light, might be able to see a little better. There's a clunk spring down in here. It keeps the support from rocking back and forth. Yeah, it needs a support, and it's chewed, the planet's all chewed up right there on the top side of it. Get the sprag out of it. But yeah, this is all chewed out from it getting pushed forward into this, or this getting pushed backwards, one or the other. Could be even like crank play, could have been pushing it, converter getting pushed in too hard, pushing it backwards. Was it getting pushed back or front? Let's see. Actually, it was getting, well, let me think once. Well, it's loaded there. Let's see what the back of the plant looks like. So the back of the planet's fine. But I mean, it needs replaced regardless of how chewed out this is right here, this whole piece. But the back of it looks good. We'll see how the direct drum looks in the ring gear. But it definitely needs a new planet and a center support in this shell. That's a shame too, because it didn't hurt the gear. The gear is not chipped yet at all, so the teeth on the planet are good. It's just all shroomed out inside of there. The rear band, not broke, still lots of meat on it. You got the little band snap ring that holds the band up. Sometimes I can, like that, get them out. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Oh wait, that's right, I got the piece I gotta get out of there. Let's take a look at the direct. Usually I see the directs being bad. Let's see. The teeth look a little funny on the friction, where half of the teeth are missing. The plate themselves don't look too bad. Just slightly discolored. But you gotta watch that drum, especially with the splines. You can check it with this sometimes. Gives you a pretty good idea how loose it is. Doesn't feel bad. Let's see that journal. Still pretty smooth. Just needs cleaned up. I don't see it. Yeah, so there's nothing loading on the ass end of it. It's something loading from the front. And it just got locked in there. And things like that with the hard lip seals. I mean, yeah, that's going to lead to issues, of course, but, you know, as far as that washer being melted like that and that sun shell being destroyed, that's not good. Hopefully the back of the case is okay. I got to get this sensor out. I don't want to hurt it. Getting off of there. It's just all the corrosion holding it in place is all it is. A lot of people just go after it too hard and pry on it. I mean, look at it, it's just totally all corroded in place, and you'll snap it and then it's stuck. Good luck getting it out. Check the rear case bushing. Yeah, see that rear bearing's good down in the case. Let's tip it, check the case. It's just starting to scuff it up. Case is still good though. That's good. Let's check our ring gear. Output shaft looks fine. Ring gear looks good. So yeah, that's really odd. That the main issue. Get some of this stuff out of the way here. Gotta bust that drum still. We have this. This gets washed. This will get washed right here. So we have the washer on the back of the pump is just totally chewed out and pushed in. So there's a lot of force on it pushing in off of the this here where it rides. So this drum was just getting smashed into it extremely hard off of this shell where it locks. You can see on the shell itself where it's cracked completely all the way around it. It's just all mushroomed out. It was ready to snap it in half completely almost. And then that led to, when that's getting pushed, that's pushing on this, it's chewed this whole surface up here and boogered all that up around the edge here. I might be able to get away with this, reusing that, just put a new bushing in it, but I mean, I'm not gonna chance it. I don't really care. It's gonna, you know, it needs the shell. It's got that. I've got those. I can order the shell. The planet, that's gonna be the problem, is where the planet has been, when it's sitting like that, and you have the wear off the back of the shell onto the planet that has chewed all this out right here. So it's all, the bushing is exposed up off the lip of it. I don't know how well you all can see it, but it definitely needs a planet. I'm not going to run that again. I mean, you have to sink the bushing in deeper, and you have this offset in here. I wouldn't do it. So I got to price it out for them. It's going to need like a basic master kit, you know, friction steels, bushings, bearings, sprags, the snap ring retainer lock for that, all the molded pistons, both the bands, the solenoids, the wiring harness, all that stuff. Not too bad, but again, he's gonna have, there's something that caused that, preloading that to push backwards like that. I don't see it on the input shaft. I don't see any discoloration. And it's not deformed there. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that, what would have actually caused that, unless it was just a failure weld here that caused the crack, then everything got shifted. I mean, that's obviously possible. You know, these are, it's the metallic shell, known for, you know, breaking. I've seen it. Usually they snap completely off, and or all the gears are stripped out around it, and it takes everything out from here back completely out. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Check back soon. I got how many more we got going? I got a 6. No, what is that? A 6L80. I got a 4L60 05, and another Turbo 400. But thanks for watching, everybody. Check back soon. Gross. Ugh, nasty.